Welcome to Flow. Let's get started. Today we'll begin in a cross-legged position. Bring your hands to rest on your knees with your palms facing down or facing up. Allow your eyes to close or find a soft gaze and just start to bring your awareness to your breath. Feel your butt bones rooted down into your mat and feel your spine grow long and tall away from the ground. With every inhale, let yourself grow a little bit taller. And with every exhale, feel your butt bones sink even deeper into the mat. And start to come out of this. Bring your feet so they're flat. And just start to windshield wiper your knees from side to side. Working a little bit through internal and external rotation in the hip joint. And this is also just a great way to start to warm up through your lower back, just to find a little bit of movement through the hips. And give yourself a couple more rounds here, just moving side to side. And then come to center. Bring your feet so they're flat, and your feet are pretty wide apart from each other. Bring your hands so they come on top of your shins. And then find a little arch through your spine, lift your chin. And then on your exhale, contract. Pull your knees together and pull your chin to your chest. And then continue to move through this at your own pace. So kind of like a little cat-cow sensation through the back, but then working a little bit more with the idea of internal rotation through the hips. So on your inhale, pull against your shins, lift your chest, lift your chin. And then on your exhale, pull your knees together and dome through your upper back, pull your chin to your chest. And just keep this moving with breath. Finding more motion and mobility through the spine, especially the upper thoracic spine. And give yourself one final set of this. And then release and move your body around to an all fours tabletop position. From this all fours, bring your shoulders right over your wrists, your hips over your knees, and then extend your right leg straight and long behind you. Point through your right toes and lift your right leg in the air, but try to keep your lower back completely still. I'm going to take this little lift and lower 5 times just to start to activate through the right glute. Continue to press down actively through your hands. Lengthen behind your back right knee as much as you can. And then after your 5th go around, start to pull your right knee to your chest. Think of a little bit of a rounding through the upper spine as you move in and out of this posture, and continue to press down through both of your hands. Every exhale, pull your knee to your chest. And then every inhale, re-lengthen through the leg. And just continue this at your own pace. 5 times total here. And after your 5th go around, extend your right leg back long behind you. Now bend your right knee. Flex your right foot and start to press the bottom of your foot up to the ceiling in tiny little pulses here. We take this about 10 times. All the while, try to keep your lower spine completely still. So instead of having any sort of bucking sensation, this can be a really tiny movement where your lower back can really be stabilized. 10 times total here, and then after your 10th little press up, bring yourself back to a tabletop position and then press back to child's pose. Take about 3 full big breaths in your child's pose. Fill the space of your back body, the space between your shoulder blades, and let your hips sink heavier down onto your heels. And then slowly press yourself back up to a tabletop position. We're going to take everything on the second side. So extend your left leg back long behind you. And then activate your core as you lift your left leg up off the ground. And then very slowly with control, start to lower and lift through your left leg. Try to straighten your left knee as much as you can. Keep your hips squared down to the ground. Notice if you have any kind of bucking through your lower back. Try to keep your lower back really still. And then after your 5th go around, start to pull your left knee to your chest. Find a little bit of contraction through the upper spine. And we take this 5 times. Notice if all of your weight has shifted over to your right hand. Try to bring a little more focus of weight into your left hand. And we take this 5 times total with breath. Get as long as you can through your back left knee. After your 5th time, bend your back left knee, flex your foot up towards the ceiling, and then start to take little presses here 10 times. Just as we were focusing on the other side, we want to make sure that the abdominals are engaged to support the lower back and stabilize through your torso. The only thing moving here should be your left leg. And after your 10 little presses, bring your left knee back down and move back to a child's pose. Send the hips back to your heels. And take about 3 big breaths in this child's pose position, letting yourself sink a little bit heavier into the posture. Inch your fingers away from your toes. And then slowly transition out of this. Come through tabletop and move to downward facing dog. Now from this downward facing dog, walk your feet so they're much wider. And then with wide feet, roll yourself forward to a high plank. Bend your knees, start to walk your hands back to your feet. Stand up so you're in a low squat position. And then from there, press down, stand all the way up, straighten your knees. Send your hips back, come back to squat. Bring your hands down to the mat, walk yourself back out to a wide-legged high plank. And then press yourself up to downward facing dog. We're going to take this series 5 times total and move a little quicker. So when you're ready, roll yourself back forward to plank. Walk your hands back to your feet, find your squat. Inhale, stand up, straighten the legs, lift up. Exhale, squat down, bend your knees. Bring your hands to the mat, walk yourself out, high plank. And press yourself up, wide-legged downward facing dog. And then just continue this at your own pace. Really want to focus on finding a nice low squat and hold there for just a moment. And then really press down into your legs, lift your body up, come right back down into your squat, and then walk yourself back out to your plank, to your downward facing dog. So this exercise is a really great way to kind of introduce weight bearing to both your upper body and your lower body. So maybe if you were about to go into a weight training session, this would be a really good warm up for your whole body. And just to get a little blood moving, completely body weight exercises here. And make sure that you're breathing through this as well. We're finding some nice mobility through the spine, a little bit of flexibility through the hamstrings as well. Find that nice squat, send your hips back. Find control as you bring your hands down to the ground, find this plank position. And then after your final set, walk your feet closer together and then walk your feet up towards your hands. So you're in a ragdoll position. Bend your knees here, let your head just kind of hang down. Now we're gonna find a flat spine. Bring your hands behind your head, open the elbows, find a flat back. You can have a little bend with your knees. Now shift all of your weight over towards your left foot and extend your right foot back behind you. Very slowly and with control, start to lift and lower your right leg. We're taking this 10 times. So this is kind of mimicking what we were doing on all fours, except now obviously we have a little more intensity because it's a weight-bearing exercise only on your left leg. So you're gonna start to feel a lot of energy through your left foot and your left leg, and then also the working leg, your right glute will start to work as well. Try to keep your back as still as you can. Elbows are wide, chest is lifted. And then after your 10th set, hold your right leg up, option to stay there, or option to extend your fingers forward and hold for 10 seconds in this airplane pose. I know it's super intense, try to stay with it. And then move into a standing split. So bring your hands down to the mat and lift your leg up. Try to get your ankle as high as you can. Try to drop your head. Option to stay in your standing split, or if you want to take any little handstand kick-ups here, you can move into that too if you want to bring a little more weight into your hands. It can be kind of fun. Or option just stay in the standing split. We're going to take about 5 little handstand kick-ups if that's something you want to explore. And then wherever you are, lower both feet so you're in a ragdoll pose. Bend your knees a lot, drop your head, and slowly roll yourself upright to stand. We're gonna take everything on the second side here. Lift your arms up, lift your chest, a little bit of a baby back bend. Exhale, forward fold, come all the way through. Soften through your knees. You can shake your head yes or no here. Find a flat spine. Bring your hands behind your head, behind your neck. Now shift all of your weight to your right foot. Extend the left leg back long behind you. Activate through your core and start to find these lifts and lowers. So you're really nice and straight behind your back left knee. Try to square both of your hips down to the mat. Think of the crown of your head continually energizing forwards and try to get your back left knee as straight as you can get it. If you fall out of this, it's no big deal. Really try to ground down through your right foot. Your core is active, your upper back is active. This is a whole body exercise here. After your 10th set, keep your left leg lifted and then extend your arms long in front of you. Feel your fingers pull away from the back foot. We're here for about 10 seconds. Airplane balance, have a soft bend with your bottom knee. And then move to standing split. Bring your hands down to the mat. Let your head drop. Try to lift your left ankle as high as you can get it. Option to stay in your standing split, or you can mess around with some handstand kick-ups here if you want to bend into your bottom knee and try to fly your bottom foot up off the ground. Try to make it a little more playful than stressful. Just bring in a little weight into your hands. If you fall out of it, no big deal. If you want to try this up against a wall, that can be kind of fun too, just to test your balance there. And if you're taking these handstand hops, give yourself about 5 or 6. And then slowly start to bring yourself down, whichever option you're in. We come back to a forward fold to bring both of your feet so they're on the ground. Bend your knees a lot, drop your head, and then slowly roll yourself up to stand. Unfurl through your vertebrae and then lift your arms up. Find a little taste of a back bend. And on your exhale, hands to heart center, forward fold. Bend your knees a lot, come all the way down to sit. Extend your legs long in front of you, reach your arms up overhead, and find a seated forward fold. Release up and over your legs. And come back to that nice heavy breath. Every exhale, allow your torso to go a little heavier towards your legs. Notice what's happening in your jaw and your face. Try to release any tension you're holding on to. And then slowly roll yourself up to sit. And from here, we're moving into a half straddle position. So open your right leg to like a 45-degree angle, bend your left knee, lift your arms up, rotate towards your extended leg, and then release yourself up and over your right leg. And just let yourself hang heavy in this position. Every exhale gets you a little bit deeper into the stretch. And then slowly come out of this, and we'll just take this all the other way. So extend your left leg, bend your right knee, feel both of your butt bones into your mat, lift your arms, rotate towards your left leg, and when you're ready, release yourself up and over. Maybe try with both hands to grab towards your left foot, and let your torso just be heavy over your left leg. And then slowly bring yourself up and out of this. And from here, bring your hands behind your thighs and roll yourself very slowly all the way down to your back. From your back, we're going to move into some variations of bridges. We're going to start off with marching bridges. So press your feet down, lift your hips. And then from here, press down and lift your right knee, and then lower. And then switch. Lift your left knee, lift your left foot. And then switch. So just continuing on with these marches. Actively press down through the supporting foot. Pull your knee up towards your chest so you start to feel that extra little bit of activation on your supporting leg through your glute, through your hamstring. And just keep this going. Try to keep your hips lifted the entire time. Finding support and stability through your glutes, through your hamstrings. And we'll take this about 10 times each side. Just keep it moving. Now the next time your right leg is up, hold it up and then try to straighten it if you can. We're going to take one-legged dips here. Lower your hips and then press your hips up. So you're really actively pressing into your bottom left foot. And we take this about 10 times. Really try to press your right foot up towards the ceiling as much as you can. Feel that activation in your bottom left foot, pressing your hips up. Keep this going, find that activation. And then after your 10th set, hold for just a moment at the top. And then lower your right leg, and we'll take this the other way. So extend your left leg up into the air. And start to lower and lift through your hips. You're really pressing down into the right foot as you lower and lift. Notice if your right knee is kind of bowing out to the side, try to keep your knee tracking over your toes. About 10 times total here. Find control, especially as you're lowering. Keep pressing down to lift up. Almost there, keep it going. And then after your 10th time, bring your left foot down to the ground. And then slowly lower your hips all the way back down to your mat. And from here, pull your knees into your chest and we're moving into a happy baby. Catch the outsides of your feet. Pull your knees to your armpits. You can find a gentle side-to-side movement if that feels good. Maybe you want to extend one leg or the other. I always like to move around through my face, my lips, my tongue. That might feel good for you. Take one more big full breath here. And then extend your legs long and heavy in front of you. Bring your arms down by your side. Maybe allow your eyes to close. And just come back to the movement and sensation of your breath. Exhale all of your air out. Find a full big breath in. And exhale. Thank you for joining us today. And that's your flow.